Hello, this is Karl-James Langford on channel 01-1975, and it's a wonderful Thursday, and it's the 11th of December. So today I've been teaching two classes about the Phoenicians, and this is my daily, my weekly, I would say, archaeology day, because I'm still teaching archaeology Cymru students. They're loyally turning up in Lantworth Major and Bridgend, and so I'll give you a little bit of information about the Phoenicians that I've been looking at today with a lot of energy. I would say they weren't as interesting to me as the Etruscans that we did last week, but then again, the Phoenicians are by far some of the influential movers of our world. So we'll follow with images right at the end. So I'll be doing some more decluttering today as well, and so getting rid of loads of paperwork. It's still loads. I don't know how much progress I'm making. I can't see the wood for the trees. Paper, forget it. And one thing, as you all know, I do these recordings a day behind. So out of the two acting pieces I've done this week, the one acting piece, my tea and coffee thing, so the tea on Monday, Tara will be pleased to hear that I give it a tea serving and niceness of 8.5 out of 10, so that's great. And the other piece of acting I've been doing this week on another set, well, the tea was good, but it wasn't done by anyone in the production. So the person who made the tea, it was a really nice cup of tea. That was the farmer, because we were actually on set at a farm, so that's like 8 out of 10. So that was 2 cups of tea there. Anyway, why am I talking this nonsense about cups of tea? I love cups of tea. You can't have an acting production without tea. Right, the Phoenicians. The Phoenician civilization is a world that doesn't really include an empire with it, but the Phoenicians themselves, we believe that their establishment of cities and towns and villages in the Levant, which is, if those are in the know, are from southern Turkey all the way through to all the way through to Syria, Lebanon, Israel, and clipping the top of Egypt. That's where the main sort of cities were, like Tyre, which is one of the major cities of the Phoenician world. They had like these individual cities, and each of these cities would issue their own coins. It wasn't an empire as such. They were traders. They were a bit like the Vikings many generations later, where they would establish colonies and build up their own sort of sense of being. And what did the Phoenicians give us? They gave us, all the way back in the day, 1,500 years ago, they gave us the idea of trade. Pythias coming way closer to our time frame, just beyond 300 years BC, apparently circumnavigated Britain in the search for the Tin Islands, i.e. Britain. Yes, tin. The Phoenicians obtained our tin many years before Pythias, and obviously he was circumnavigated to find Tin Islands, but obviously they were aware of it well before that anyway. They must have been. So there's that. They founded Carthage. They established Carthage. It looks like they founded Leptis Magna in Libya. They founded Tangier. They had settlements and towns and cities in Spain. You're talking about Marseille, some of the islands like Corsica and Sicily, and all over the place around the Mediterranean. Some people say that they went as far as America. They first discovered America. We don't know when. The Phoenician sort of civilization died out just after, or just around the time of Alexander the Great, back in about the 330s. But by about 539, they had been devastated as a people by complete defeat under the leadership, the Assyrian leadership of Cyrus the Great, who just defeated and decimated the Phoenician ports on that bit of the coastline. But the Phoenicians continued elsewhere. What else can we say about the Phoenicians? They traded amongst all the islands of the Mediterranean, and one thing that I'm not missing is that they gave us our modern day alphabet. They gave most Western civilizations their alphabet, and they're to be admired for that. So the Phoenicians are very, very great people. They had great ships. They were the ones that gave the idea of ocean-going ships to us, because we've also got the idea that they left the Red Sea and circumnavigated Africa and back in through the oh god, I can't bloody remember it. The gates of Hercules back in from the Atlantic Ocean into the Mediterranean. The Pillars of Hercules, that's what I was thinking of. And they've got all that idea of slaves and a trade, and they had the idea of galleys, triremes that were oared by slaves, but most of their ocean-going vessels weren't. They were really powerful sails, which we get from carvings and various illustrations. They were known as a great peoples later on by the Greeks and the Romans, very, very well respected. So it's a world that we understand to have given us many of the things that the Etruscans had. Influence in much of the Greek world, and they basically replaced really the Minoans as sailors around the Mediterranean, and in a way they're the precursors, as I've said, to the Vikings in the northwestern hemisphere, and they're also the precursors to the sense of the Britons going out there, forming colonies and having that empire. The Phoenicians didn't have the empire in that sense, but they were civilizing influence. Anyway, this is Karl-James Langford for my video log. Hopefully you enjoy the images. Thank you.